Are we live? Welcome to another fabulous rendition of Tearly for this podcast. It's your host and moderator, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm Prince Down One. Feel free to hit the subscription button, the notification bell. Share this content with your friends, family, as well as your followers. Get this YouTube channel as well as this live stream lit in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me. If you want to, if you want us further support, already struggle streaming. If you want us further support the channel, hit the join membership button. Remember, membership has its privileges. Also, if you donate through Super Chat as well as my Cash App, I'm Chris Don One. The link is in the comment message below. Anyone that does that will be the stream sponsor for the next Too Early for This podcast. Yeah. All right, we got all that stuff out of the way. It was a minute plus, but nevertheless, I'm the best. Let's talk about today's topics. First and foremost, before we talk about today's topics, you're probably wondering why your boy, I'm Chris the Don One, is doing Too Early for This podcast this late. All right. As well as you doing it on a Monday. All right. So check this out. If you catch my latest episode of Too Early for This podcast, I told you guys I was going to try to change things up a little bit. Maybe start on a different day. I also talked about doing it daily, doing it 5 times a week. All right. Just, checking it out, kicking the tires around, see if you guys like it that way. Now, even though if I do it daily, it's not going to be a 2-hour podcast. All right. So without further ado, if you guys enjoy this, then I need those comment sections lit. I also need some. I need more eyes on the live stream. All eyes on me. So let's just go ahead and get into today's topic. First topic up for discussion is Kash Doll. Kiss Doll. I think it's Kasha. She's in the news for all the wrong reasons. Apparently, Usher is going on. He's still touring. I think the tour is titled Usher. Let me see what other happy home I can break up. Usher has been really feeling himself ever since the Keke Palmer incident. He's been living under a rock. Allow your boy to explain. Keke Palmer broke up with her boyfriend over her outfit, as well as her smudge hugging it up with Usher. Which, by all accounts, allegedly, this is all alleged that I'm about to say, because Usher had some diseases going on not too long ago. So, at first, Usher was the ew boy. Nobody wouldn't want to touch Usher with a 10-foot pole. Now, all of a sudden, everyone's an Usher fan. Now, when I mean everyone, I mean females. Now, all of a sudden, Usher's adorable. Usher is now huggable. Usher, everybody, all the females now all of a sudden want to get familiar with Usher, okay? So, anywho, Usher is on his tour. He tried that same attempt. Now, he thought it got him clout, got him lit, the Keke Palmer thing. Even though they broke up momentarily, they unfollowed one another. I think the road to redemption, as far as Keke Palmer's relationship with her boyfriend, I think his name is Darius. I think I might butcher his last name. I think it's Jackson. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, Mr. Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. Anywho, okay, enough of all the comedy. All right, so they broke up, but now they're mending fences, so to say. And Usher tried it with Willow, the beautiful model Willow, who's in a relationship with I had his name on my you know how you have someone's name on your tip, Kyle Kuzma. He tried it with her with her. She immediately, you know, ran up on Kyle Kuzma. You know, out of all these incidents, you know, Willow was the only one that that bought her boyfriend to the concert. You know, Usher was feeling a little humble pie on that attempt, but nevertheless, it didn't stop him to try to do it with Sweetie. You know, Sweetie is dating YG. You know, YG ain't having that. Now, Usher did serenade her from a distance, cause I don't think Usher wants them hands. All right, you know, definitely YG would have said something. All right, and then his latest, you know, woman that he tried to serenade and tried to break up a happy home was Kash Doll. Kash Doll was enjoying it. You know, first and foremost, and she did this at the Usher show, just let people know that she was there at the Usher show. At a show you're supposed to enjoy yourself, particularly if you're not on the main card, particularly if you're not on stage. You're supposed to enjoy yourself. You may take a couple of pictures here and there. You may do a couple of videos here and there. But somebody like her, you would think that, you know, she would just enjoy herself. But now she wanted everyone to know that she was in the place. Her face was in the place. And when Usher serenaded her, oh man, it was just like cloud 9 to her. She just, she put on a good act. All right. She was like liking it, she was really feeling it and things of that nature. Now, he didn't go all up on Kash Doll. You know, Kash Doll is in a relationship herself, I believe. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. And he didn't get close on her, you know, grabbing up on her and holding her and things of that nature. She just tried to, she got serenaded. That was pretty much the limits of it. And, like I said, now, Kash Doll basically said on Instagram, on social media, that she was at the concert and, it is what it is. She wasn't really feeling it like Keke Palmer was. Keke Palmer was drooling all over Usher. And, that's how it's supposed to be, all right? Yeah, she got some clout off of it. She got a little fame. She got a little cool point, because let's just be real. Let's just be real and honest, okay? What type of projects Kash Doll is doing nowadays, okay? As a rapper, as a female rapper, now she was one of those type of rappers, didn't have the best flow. Basically she was like an OnlyFans model that happened to have a song, very sexual songs and sexual videos and things of that nature. In the music industry, nobody's really taking Kash Doll real seriously. She's really known for, being a star on social media. That's the limitations of her as far as her popularity. And, nobody ain't feeling her like that where, people buying her albums, or she's got a hit single in the summer, or she's in a collaboration with, with another musician or another artist. Okay. She just kind of, use the music, she just kind of use her being a rapper as a clip note. All right. But she's really known for social media, like an IG model, something to those limitations. So, you have to get your name out there any way you possibly can. I think she really wanted to go to the Usher concert because she saw how Usher was trending with Keke Palmer, how he was trending with that beautiful model. I think her name was Whittle. And how he's trending with Sweetie, Kash Doll. I mean, she's okay. She probably tried to take advantage of it and said, "Hey, look, all these other females, they're getting clout from it. Why not But I felt like when you're trying to ride the clout, wave, it's best for you to ride that wave early instead of riding it late. And I think Usher serenading you, and you got a man at home, and everyone trying to figure out, okay, what's the next girl Usher trying to serenade that's married or in a relationship with a boyfriend or whatever. Okay, who else he can break up as far as a happy home. All right, I think that wave is over with. I think that's dead now on social media. I think everyone has moved on. It was, the Keke Palmer thing. It had layers to that. And, it was cool. I think Sweetie, when he tried to do it with Sweetie, it was, you started seeing people not, really following Usher's tour and who he's going to serenade and break up happy homes. And it just started falling off since then. Now, don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. Like, what if Usher, was performing at his show and Michelle Obama was in attendance and he tried to, he serenades her and, this, that, and the third. I think if it's a bigger name as far as the female go, and if she's married or is in a serious relationship, that's one thing. But now you starting to see, a lot of women out there that take their relationship seriously, and take their marriage seriously. They sort of, look at it as, okay, I don't mind Usher serenading me, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna let Usher fall on me, or I'm going to fall on myself, or fall on him, embarrass myself, embarrass my relationship, and embarrass my significant other, all for the victories of Usher still remaining cool on social media, being irrelevant on social media. All right. And you gotta admit, these Usher shows, I guarantee you, they're, ever since the Keke Palmer thing, they've been selling out like hotcakes. And now it's not like he's going from seat to seat, or he's trying it and attempting it wherever they're sitting at. You can tell all of these are sort of like staged, where a selective female is sitting, at the center where he can walk to, where he can get off stage and walk to and serenade. So, like John Legend's wife. Like, what if she was, what if she was on, watching the Usher show? All right. I just think, at the moment it was all right. But now when you look at it, you go, okay, now we've been there and done that. I mean, there's nothing more you can say or do to get this lit again. If it was someone interesting, there's a possibility, but it's time to move on. All right. So that's what's going on with that. I felt like I should start the podcast talking about that incident. I'm pretty sure Kash Doll got got popular because of that incident. But like I said earlier, I think that incident benefits her. It benefits Usher slightly, particularly if you're talking about, it's not like she's got any new projects on the horizon. It's not like, music projects. It's not like, she's starring in a reality show or a movie or a television show. It's not like she's got something that she can link with this failed attempt of Usher serenading her. All right, and I think women, particularly beautiful women, attractive women, um, you know, uh, I feel like, well, let me rewind this. I feel like attractive women don't, women that know that they're beautiful, they're not even going to attempt this. They're not going to try to push it. If it happens, it happens. But I really do think women who think that they're attractive, who think that they're popular, who think that they're beautiful, is going to take this opportunity and say, okay, I want Usher to serenade me. All right. So, it's a confidence thing. It's an ego building thing. But I don't think any woman with substance or that's already got credibility and already got the wave, already got the clout, already got the juice, so to say. I don't think you're going to ever see Ice Spice going to an Usher concert, sitting on the grand stage, sitting in the arena and wanting Usher to serenade her. I don't think you're going to see Nicki Minaj in that state. I don't think you're going to see Rihanna in that state. It's just certain women that already got, that's already popular, that's already, hitting out there. I don't think they're going to, subject themselves to that. They may go to the Usher concert, but they're not going to be seated in that section where Usher can walk up and serenade them and things of that nature. But this is very good for Usher. It sells a lot of tickets for him, for a lot of women. Now all of a sudden, Usher is on that's on women's radar, and I think a regular smuggler woman who's really not lit on social media, who's really not that popular, who wants to be popular, who wants that attention. I think a regular smuggler woman would take this approach, wanting Usher to serenade them, and all the cameras are on them, and now all of a sudden she's popular. All right, but I feel like women that already got the juice, that's already popular, this is one, why do this? Why, it is what it is. All right, so moving on. Second order of too early for this podcast, which, by the way, let's do a quick commercial break. Rate, comment, subscribe, hit the subscription button, the notification bell, share this content with your friends, family, and followers. Let's get this YouTube channel and this live stream, as well as this podcast, lit in the YouTube algorithm. Okay, I'm gonna need those likes up. Guys, please comment either when it's live or comment when it's no longer live. Tell me what you thought about today's episode. If you want to be a stream sponsor, if you want your name on the bottom, hit me at the Cash app. Hit me with a donation. You'll be automatically selected for the next Too Early for This podcast, or just Cash app. Or hit Super Chat. All right. Either way, anyone that does that will be the stream sponsor. And let's just move on. All right. let's move on. All right. So moving on, we're going to be talking about the writer's strike. Now the actors are joining this strike, and man, look, it's a cold business, man. It's a cold business. All right. Now the writers wanting to get paid more because of now you got these streaming services, and these streaming services have their own original content, and a lot of these seasons are like 6 episodes, and even though streaming is profitable for the company that provides the application, and even though it's profitable to certain shows, with streaming services go, that money is spread out evenly for all the original content that is on that application. Not to mention, movies and old television shows and things of that nature. That's pretty much how it works. And a lot of these writers are saying time everything gets broken down, a writer's only getting like a couple of dollars per episode, and these episodes are 6 episodes in. All right, which, writers are very, I know a lot of people, look at a movie or look at a hit television show or a hit movie, and then they say, oh man, I'm going to see that movie. I'm going to go see that show or that television series because of that actress, because of that actor. No one goes to a movie or watch a television show or, whatever, and say, oh man, I got to check that out. Like, I want to check out Snowfall because, Snowfall, I love the writing. Okay. You're not going to have a huge fan base checking out a show or a movie because of the writing. All right. It is what it is. So, these writers, time with these streaming services like Apple Plus, Amazon, HBO Max, Hulu, Netflix, they start, dividing this money up from their streaming service. And, you got to take care of the shareholders. You got to take care of the executives. You got to take care of the people that's putting the money out up front to create this entertainment. They got to get paid first. And then after that, you start breaking it down to the actors, the actresses, the stars that are in these projects. And then you start breaking down the production, any special effects or studio time or whatever. And then the writers get their cut. And it's nowhere near on par what writers used to get, back before this introduction of streaming services. All right. And they're not getting what they deserve. Now, the writers are on strike. They want equal pay. They want more. They want more money. And when you're dealing with a streaming services, yes, to the consumer, like you and I, this is a benefit. All right. Like, for example, like if you're subscribed to Netflix, all right, and you paying like have you ever noticed this? I don't know if this happened to you guys, but like, I'm subscribed to a lot of streaming services. I know when it's due and it's automatically taken out of my account. But I don't never look at it and say, oh man, I'm paying like $5 a month for this streaming service. Oh man, I'm only paying $10 a month. I don't really, it don't hit me that way. All right. Like, for example, a bill or utility bill or whatever, I can tell you how much it is every month. Okay. Because I know exactly how much it's going to be. I know exactly when it's going to come out of my account. All right. But when it comes to these streaming services, I don't even know when they take it out. And I don't even know how much they're taking out. Okay. I shouldn't even say this out loud, but hey, some of these streaming services, they can take $50 out of my account and I wouldn't even know about it. All right. Because I don't be checking it and I don't be looking for it. And the reason why I don't be checking it and looking for it, because it's a small amount. It's like $10, $12. Okay. $5 here, $6. Okay. I think Paramount Plus, I'm getting that on the low. I'm getting that for like $3 a month. All right. Because of some type of program that I signed up for at work. And, now with a lot of these streaming services, depending on where you work at, they do special deals for the employees and the employers. All right. So I got Paramount Plus for like $3. Okay. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, I'm not going to miss $3. All right. It is what it is. All right. And that's what the advantages of signing up to a subscription service on a lot of these applications. You look at it and you go, oh man, that's, it's no big deal. and it's a benefit to you, the consumer. But when you start breaking it down to the fraction, all right, it's good for us. It's good. It's a good thing for us, but it's a bad thing for for someone that doesn't have a name that's not internationally known, and it's not a shareholder. It's not an executive. It's that's putting the money out front to provide them with this type of production to finance a lot of these projects, and they want their money up front as well as the interest, for putting up that type of bread. The rest of them, the staffers, and I feel like the writers are in this same stratosphere as the staffers. They just get what they're able to get. All right. Now, Scarlett Johansson, when she did Black Widow, she sued Marvel because she felt like Marvel was giving her pennies on the dollar, because everyone was talking about, and like I said, when you throw out false narratives or a narrative that's very negative, a lot of these companies would ride on these false narratives, and then it hurts your business with that network or your business with whoever. And I remember clear as day, people were talking about how Black Widow didn't make a lot of money, and this, that, and the third. And it wasn't making enough money. And Marvel rode that theory, say, yeah, you're right, it ain't making no money. All right. And then they applied that fake theory into what they gave Scarlett Johansson. And she felt like the movie made more money than what Marvel and Disney was saying. And she felt like they was not compensating her fully. So she took them to court. Now, I know. She sued Disney and Marvel before Black Widow released. But I do remember and I do recall before it even released, okay, people were talking about how this movie is not going to be a huge hit when you compare it to Infinity Wars, okay? Or you compare it to this movie and to that movie that Marvel has. And at that time, Marvel was on their ish. All right. They was, cranking out blockbusters after blockbusters after blockbusters. But when Black Widow came out as its own project, you started seeing a lot of people saying, I don't think it's going to hit like Infinity Wars. I don't think it's going to hit like Iron Man or Spider-Man. Okay. And Scarlett Johansson said, well, wait a minute, hold up. You guys are not compensating me like I believe you should. Now, like I said, she did take Disney to court. But these are the type of stories you get from, streaming services are good for us, the consumer. But when you start to flip that coin around, it's not good business for the writers, the staffers, CGI. It's good money for the actor, the actress, the one with the bigger name. It's good for the stockholders. It's good for the executives. It's good for a lot of these companies that submit the budget for them to make these hits. All right. But it's not good for anyone else below the belt after you start peeling away the layers. And that's why the writers are now on strike. And now you got the actors that are joining the writers. Okay. So I feel like, first and foremost, and I said this a ton of times. I feel like I shouldn't say I feel like, when COVID went down and, a lot of these establishments had to close due to COVID, like the movie theaters, the restaurant industry, the retail industry on certain levels, it was kind of hard, kind of difficult to remain open because a lot of states had those places closed. All right. Now, since COVID has been lifted, we have seen this in real life. How many times y'all drive down the street and there's a fast food restaurant that was here today but gone tomorrow, and you go like, "Oh man, what happened to Kappa D's? Oh man, what happened to Arby's? Oh man, what happened to Burger King? Oh man, what happened to this one? What happened to that one?" Because it was hard for them to get help. All right, people wasn't going back to those establishments because there was an influx of jobs out there that were that paid more than a lot of those people that used to work at these restaurants are going to, that are gravitating to. All right. And then you got the other hand of people that just didn't go back to work. They just stayed at home until that unemployment check was no more. All right. And a lot of those businesses couldn't wait for the workers to come back. And they saw their business decline because they didn't have enough help. So the places like Taco Bell, KFC, you can name whatever fast food restaurant. If you have been noticing and paying attention, the fast food industry is dying left to right due to the result of COVID. And you also have seen this transition to other forms in other communities and other industries. All right. How many people remember when COVID was going down and a lot of these places were shutting down because they couldn't have an influx of a lot of people at these establishments? How many people heard that, oh man, the movie industry is going to be null and void? No, they're not going to be able to make it during them being shut down. All right. And lucky for the movie theaters, there wasn't a lot of movie theaters that shut down, but there was some movie theaters that shut down. But lucky for the movie industry and the movie theaters, slowly but surely they started bringing movies back in, even when there were restrictions. Even though they had restrictions in the COVID, when we had that COVID era, and they say, well, okay, you can have the movie theaters open, but you probably can't jam pack it like a lot of gyms. A lot of gyms were still open even during COVID. Okay, and if those gyms were not open, if they had to force to close these gyms, then the gym in the fitness industry, if you have a gym membership or if you a gym, they would cease to they wouldn't survive, and they'll have to shut these gyms down. I don't think there's a lot of gyms like they used to be, but there still are gyms. I don't think there's a lot of movie theaters like they used to be, but there still are movie theaters. Okay, due to the large fact of a lot of they allowed a lot of those industries that had a lot of consumers at one time. They slowly but surely let them still remain open, but they had to follow the rules and guidelines to whatever city. All right. And this is also affecting the entertainment world. All right. There's a lot of cost in making a movie, but a lot of these executives, a lot of these CEOs, they're looking at it as, okay, there was a period of time where we lost money, and we need to recoup the money that we lost. So a lot of these projects, a lot of these original content and things of that nature, they're looking at it, a lot of these executives are looking at it as, okay, it's time for us to get our comeback. It's time for us to get the money that we lost during COVID. Okay, so you still got that bill on top of them. And the second aspect of this is, particularly with the writers and how this ultimately affect the writers on a large scale, is they're looking at it as, okay, the movie industry, the movie industry isn't as profitable as it was before COVID. You know, a lot of people are not subscribed to all these subscription services. Like, a couple of weeks ago, they announced the top streaming apps, and it was Netflix, HBO Max, it was Disney Plus, and then it was Hulu, and then it was the rest. No, it was Amazon. Amazon was like second or third. Okay. Well, if you're on that bottom tier from third to whatever, you're struggling. All right. So a lot of these streaming services are not making money. A lot of them are not making money, folks. And Amazon, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Amazon is not making a lot of money. But you know what? Why Amazon ceased to exist is because Amazon is a $1 trillion corporation. They make money in other aspects instead of just entertainment, okay, and making original content. All right. So Amazon can fall back on their money, so to say. So does Apple Plus. Apple is a $1 trillion corporation. Apple don't necessarily need Apple Plus. They would love for Apple Plus to be successful. But in the meantime and in between time, while it's trying to, figure it out, okay, Apple Plus doesn't have to make a lot of money to continue to have the subscription service. Now, I do feel like when Apple released their VR headset, I think it's going to incorporate Apple Plus. You're going to see a lot of original content that's going to be cranked out and be utilized for Apple Plus that's going to be meant for the Apple VR headset. All right. So, that's the real reason why Apple Plus still exists, because it has a huge backing. They have money. Amazon has money. Apple has money. Now, Disney, they had a bunch of layoffs on ESPN. They've been cutting a lot of content out of Disney Plus. There's been a lot of shows that have been canceled, but it's only to the portion. I look at it, Disney, they're only cutting salaries and cutting the budget on projects that wasn't making money for them in the first place. All right. And that's how they can turn a profit real fast, real quick. Right. But now when you look at, Disney is still a $1 billion corporation. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to sell off Disney Plus. They're not going to sell off any of their original any of their IPs that they have bought recently. But Disney, on the other hand, they have money. They have money backing them. Now, if you look at Paramount Plus, on the other hand, Paramount Plus, they're struggling. All right. But I think what Paramount Plus and what Sony is doing with their original content, I think Paramount Plus is going to pull a play from the Sony. A lot of Sony original content, such as The Last of Us, such as Gran Turismo, Uncharted, instead of them creating an app, they're selling their original content to the other streaming services. For example, HBO Max has The Last of Us. All right. And the Last of Us is hugely popular. Okay. But Sony didn't have to create an app. Now you're creating another infrastructure that you're going to have to ultimately shell out money to have it exist. So what Sony is doing, they're saying, okay, we have original IPs and original content. We'll just sell it to the highest bidder. And I think Paramount Plus eventually will travel down this road. Like they got the Star Wars, they got the SWATs, the CSIs, they got Mayor in Kingstown, and they got all this original content that they can say. And I forgot Sylvester Stallone. He's in a series. I forgot the name of it, but they got a lot of intriguing content that you can just sell out to the highest bidder, similar to Sony. But it's a cold business, particularly in entertainment. And entertainment is struggling right now. It's not making the money it used to make. All right. So this, a lot of these streaming services, a lot of these networks, a lot of these film companies, they're trying to figure out ways to save money to make a profit. Okay, because not everyone has $1 trillion like Apple, or not when you talk about all these streaming services like Apple and Amazon. They're $1 trillion corporations. Nobody has the infrastructure already in place where you bought out the rights to a lot of content such as Star Wars, Marvels, National Geographic, okay, like Disney. Plus, Disney has money too, okay? And, a lot of these streaming services doesn't have a lot of content in interesting content that could drive subscribers to their streaming services, such as Paramount, okay? So the bottom line is a lot of these streaming services, they're already seeing red. They already at a negative. So they have to figure out how to save and cut costs and money some kind of way, and it's affecting the writers, because the writers is this unknown face, and no one necessarily goes to the movie theaters. People go to the movie theaters because of their favorite actor or actress is starring in this movie, or they got intrigued by the trailer of the CGI. Going like, wow, look at that CGI, look at the action, okay? But no one's really drawn to the storytelling. There's like a few people, such as myself, that's intrigued by the storytelling, but it's not a huge community, of people saying, well, I like storytelling in a movie more so than what actor or actress is starring in, or if it's got CGI, or if it's got action, or no one's drawn to the storytelling. Okay, not a lot of people. Okay, and if you don't have a surplus of people drawn by your storytelling, by your writing, then what's that's telling the executives, and what's that's telling to the powers that be, is that you don't really necessarily need a story to be popular. Okay, there's a lot of movies out there that don't really have a lot of dialogue, or or has amazing writing or storytelling. There's a lot of movies out there that made a lot of money without having a lot of writing involved. And I've read a lot of articles that saying Hollywood is going to starve the writers out. The Hollywood executives are going to starve the writers off. All right. They're not saying the writers are not important to their bottom line, but they're also saying that they're not going to give the writers what they want. And now a lot of these studios are going to be already in the red. A lot of these studios are seeing red right now. A lot of these original content. I mean, a lot of these IPs and shows and movies, they're going to cease to exist if the writers get what they want. Now you don't have a lot of money to shell out for unknown movies and unknown ideals. You're going to have to be cost efficient for the foreseeable future. All right. So it's a cold game. I hope the writers get close to what they want. I've heard the actors are joining in. I hope the actors get what they want. But I feel like ultimately, and you read, I read an article that the powers that be, particularly the executives in Hollywood, and they're going to starve these writers out. When the writers start start missing car notes and missing mortgages, and the cost of living, I think the real reason why the writers are able to strike this long, because it's in the summertime. Okay, a lot of these writers have families, and a lot of them have kids. Kids are on vacation. So in the summertime, you don't have to necessarily you know, have a lot of money. You can save some money. You know, some of these writers are canceling their vacations and their trips and stuff just to protest. But I do feel like when school begins, you're gonna start seeing the writers just compromise on a few things, and it's not looking good for the writers. I'm just here to tell you, the longer it goes, let's just be real and be honest. Who has the loan money? Okay, who has the loan money? The Hollywood executives, the stockholders, the powers that be that have the money, these studios, these companies that have the money, they're trying to cut corners here and there, or the writers. Who do you think got the longest money? The writers don't have the longest. The writers, you know, they don't have a lot of money to play with or ride on. Say, okay, you know what? We could be out of work for the next 2 or 3 years if it takes that long. All right. I think the writers will compromise. They'll compromise on things that that right now they're steadfast in not compromising just to get a deal done. All right, but ultimately it's going to affect us because at the end of the day, when they do compromise, the executives and the companies, and they they reach a deal with the writers. And everything is peace at last with them two. Folks, they have to realize that people like us that have these subscriptions, they're going to say to themselves, okay, then why am I paying for this? And no new projects are coming on the horizon until next year, like in the middle of next year. Why am I still paying Paramount Plus? Why am I still paying for Netflix? Why am I still paying for Hulu? Why am I still paying for Apple Plus, Disney Plus? Why am I paying for all this if, they're not generating any content anytime soon? So why am I continuing to pay for this? And it also goes for the cable companies, the satellite, companies. You're going to start seeing people just cut the cord and say, why am I paying for this entertainment when I'm not going to get the bevy of the entertainment until next year because of this writer's strike? Because you have to shut down production on a lot of these things. And it comes back to full circle to what I told you guys when I opened this conversation. I told you guys, I don't necessarily I'm tied to a lot of streaming services, and it doesn't affect me. It should affect me, but it doesn't affect me. And it's not like something that I wait on to say, oh, okay, do I have enough money for this? Do I have enough money for that? I'm waiting on this bill. It's not like it's a cable bill or it's a mortgage bill or it's a car note or car insurance, something of importance. You're going to say to yourself, oh man, the car note's due at this time. The mortgage is due at that time. Okay. You don't look at your subscription services that way. All right. I do feel like as the months go on, as long as this stuff lingers, I think people are going to have second thoughts about that. And they're going to say, okay, why am I paying for this streaming service? And they just inform me that no original content or the new season of such and such isn't going to come back until next year. Why don't I just unsubscribe and come back next year? All right. AMC Plus, MGM Plus. There's a lot of streaming services that doesn't have a $1 trillion corporation tied behind them or a $1 billion corporation tied behind them, and they're struggling to make ends meet. So I feel like content that's originally for Paramount, MGM Plus, maybe AMC Plus, I think a lot of that they're going to have to say to themselves, okay, how are we going to survive and move on? Should we incorporate our original content to other streaming services that have that have the money to just sit down for a couple of months and still pay us. Okay, I feel like when this writer strike is ending, or if this writer strike continues, it's going to die out a lot of those subscription services that have one or two hits on their belt, but they still survive. They still somehow manage and survive. I think they're going to have to say to themselves, okay, look, we're going to have to spread this content out to make money. All right. So really, when if it continues, it's not going to benefit us, the subscribers. It's definitely not going to benefit the writers. It's not going to benefit the actors and the actresses, because they can't find any other job or any type of work because the writers are on strike. But I think ultimately, the bottom line, I don't think a lot of people are realizing this, that it's going to affect, in long term, it's going to affect streaming services such as MGM Plus, AMC Plus, Paramount Plus, those that are making money but not making a lot of money, and they're sort of, they're sort of like us as in real life. When you have a budget and you budget out, when you budget out what you owe, and if you don't have enough money in the budget, you have to cut things, you have to reduce things. I think those smaller applications are going to have to say to themselves, okay, are we going to still continue to be in the red, or we're going to sell out some of these IPs that are already on our platform to these $1 trillion corporations, to these $1 billion corporations, and put it on their streaming service? I think it's going to get rid of a lot of these streaming apps that are still running, but they're running in the red. All right, so yeah, give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Had to eat some of my food, dog. Okay, I'm telling you guys, I hope y'all thoroughly enjoying Too Early for this podcast on a daily situation. I need you guys to hit the like button when you're coming in and out. I need you to hit the notification bell. Share this content with your friends, family, as well as your followers. If you guys want me to do this daily, the numbers have to go up for me to do this, because there's a lot of stuff that I could be doing, but I can't do. All right, because I'm here giving you guys the entertainment and dropping the jewels. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next order of discussion. Last thing we're gonna talk about is Activision Blizzard Entertainment, and Microsoft. Microsoft bought Activision and Blizzard Entertainment. I think it was like a 69 billion. Okay, $69 billion for Activision and Blizzard Entertainment. Okay, I think the deal is finally going to get approved. A lot of Xbox fans are doing cartwheels. They're doing flips, saying it's finally done. It's finally done. We finally got Call of Duty to ourselves. Not so fast. All right. So basically, in this, this deal is going to get done. And I remember doing live streams about it. I've done videos about it. And I gave you the pros and cons, why I think it's going to be approved, why I think it's not going to get approved. But I said, ultimately, I do feel like this deal is going to get done and going to get approved. The Activision and Blizzard Entertainment was sold to Microsoft, and Microsoft has the rights to Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch, Candy Crush. This deal, when you look at Xbox gamers, they think this deal is going to really benefit Xbox gamers because a lot of those IPs are going to be exclusively for Xbox gamers or whoever has Game Pass, which currently is PC and Xbox gamers. So a lot of people thought going in that a lot of this content is going to be exclusively for them, and PlayStation is not going to reap the rewards or benefits of them if this merger takes, well, not merger, if Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard Entertainment. I thought that was some phony baloney, because this is like $70 billion, folks. All right. And this deal wasn't done for Xbox or the Xbox gaming division. This deal was more is more going to be impacting for Microsoft. This is a Microsoft deal. Now, I know a lot of people think Microsoft and Microsoft gaming division are one and the same, but it's not. All right. The real essence of this deal for Microsoft is the mobile division. All right. So there's a lot of popular games on the mobile side of things that's making huge money, making huge revenue, such as Candy Crush. I'm not familiar with mobile games. I don't really play mobile games, but after reading the article, I can see why they wanted this deal to be done. All right. They was really applying the full court pressure to make sure that this deal is done. All right. So I do understand Microsoft's side of things. You're shelling out that much money, and it's almost $70 billion. And $70 billion, you're not going to recoup $70 billion making all of those IPs only exclusive to Game Pass. And the only people that can benefit off these are, the people that have Game Pass, which is PC and Xbox gamers. I felt like at the end of the day, Microsoft is going to compromise, and to recoup this $70 billion back, they're going to have to make deals with Nintendo and Sony. Now, when this deal was finally approved yesterday, breaking news, Microsoft reached a 10-year deal with Sony, so Sony could have Call of Duty as of right now. This deal was really meant for Call of Duty. I think when you look at Activision Blizzard Entertainment, what does that mean for PlayStation? I think PlayStation was more concerned about continuing to have Call of Duty on PlayStation. So nothing's going to change on the console front. This deal does not mean that more people are going to start buying Xbox consoles and everyone stop going to buy PlayStation consoles, particularly when you find out the 10-year deal where Call of Duty is going to exist in PlayStation. I think Microsoft wants the PlayStation ecosystem. They know that there's people that's willing to just buy Call of Duty instead of buying into Game Pass. People are willing to buy a $70 game, and they're going to get the majority of that $70. Microsoft. Sony's going to get some money from that $70. But think about it. There's probably going to be more people buying Call of Duty at $70 than people buying Game Pass. Now Call of Duty will be on Game Pass, but I still feel like even in the Xbox ecosystem, the Xbox Series S and X ecosystem, people are still just going to simply just buy Call of Duty instead of buying into Game Pass. So Microsoft, what makes the better business for Microsoft is to make money different ways. So they're going to make money just having Call of Duty on PlayStation. They're going to make money having Call of Duty on the Switch. They're going to make their money having Call of Duty available for the PC market. And they're going to make money just on the Call of Duty front, selling Call of Duty to Xbox Series X and S. All right, so you got that money. And then you're going to make money off of the mobile market. I think Activision Blizzard Entertainment has more of these mobile games. And, these games are going to be playable on Game Pass, but also these games are going to be available on the Apple Store, as well as the Google Play Store. So you're going to make money and revenue off of them. All right. So as Microsoft goes, this is a great deal all around for Microsoft. Microsoft is going to continue to be $1 trillion corporation, and they're going to recoup that 70, I think it's 69, let's just say 70 billion. They're going to recoup that 70 billion a little bit faster if you have these IPs available in certain markets, not just only for Game Pass. Now that's what a lot of the gamers, that's what a lot of these pro Xbox, these guys that's doing backflips and stuff. They're not going to tell you all that. They're just going to tell you what this means from their perspective, and it means a lot from their perspective. But if they just momentarily just stop and look at what does this mean for Microsoft, what this means for Microsoft, it means more for Microsoft than the Xbox division. That's why they're shelling out this money. They're not shelling out this money because they're pro gamer. They're not shelling out this money to run a monopoly in the gaming industry, because I told you guys the gaming industry is just too vast. It's just too big for one entity to control. Now they also got they got Activision, they got Blizzard Entertainment, they got oh my god, I forgot that company already. They're making Starfield and all that. Activision Blizzard and damn, I forgot the other one. Let's see, that's what I'm talking about. They spent like $7 billion on Bethesda, like 7 or 10 billion on Bethesda. I told y'all going in, that's a Microsoft deal. That's not that's a Microsoft deal more so than the gaming division. But I think the gaming division is going to benefit more from the Blizzard Entertainment deal. I mean, they're gonna benefit more from the Bethesda deal. The gaming division is going to benefit more from the Bethesda deal than they are with the Activision Blizzard Entertainment deal. That's going to be beneficial for Microsoft. Okay, if you follow along, if I don't confuse you. Okay, so this is great. Okay, for this deal to get done, Blizzard Entertainment and Activision. This is great for Microsoft. The gaming division, the Microsoft gaming division, is going to benefit from this deal. Sony is going to benefit from this deal. Nintendo is going to benefit from this deal. The PC market is going to benefit from this deal. People that have iPhones and Galaxies, they're going to benefit from this deal. All right. So there's so many pots that Microsoft is putting their hands into, where they can get a fistful of money out of. You don't spend $70 billion to make all of those IPs go exclusive. I said that from the beginning, and I haven't been proven wrong about that. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, Mo, oh my God, the 10-year deal for Activision, that's only for Call of Duty." Well, okay, why y'all didn't have that same energy when Nintendo signed, I think it's a 10-year deal with Microsoft to what? Have Call of Duty on Nintendo. Okay, I feel like out of all of those games that that's now in the possession of Microsoft, the only one that really is profitable is when you look at it from a console realm, is Call of Duty. Okay, I don't think Overwatch is it. I don't think Diablo is it, but they'll cease to exist on the PC side of things. But I'm not talking about PC. I'm only talking about consoles. And Nintendo and Sony, the only true thing they wanted to ensure that they was going to continue to have or have the opportunity to have is Call of Duty. That's it. Nothing less, nothing more. So, I do feel like since Microsoft since they have pots of money everywhere, I think they're going to recoup that $70 billion a lot quicker than to just make it exclusive and exclusive only. Since, excuse me, since they was in the news of trying to purchase Activision and Blizzard Entertainment, they already done purchased Bethesda. The subscription numbers have not increased. The subscription numbers have went down on Game Pass. Okay? Because even having Call of Duty on Game Pass, even having Starfield on Game Pass, that's still not good enough to get a bunch of people to subscribe to Game Pass. And now come word like a couple of hours ago, now they got Game Pass Core. Okay? So they're trying to figure out ways to make Game Pass irrelevant. And it goes back to the streaming services in the movie industry. In the movie industry. Or just in the entertainment industry. You're starting to see a surplus of companies that was in the streaming service that now saying, okay, we're going to have to compromise. We're going to have to cut a little bit here, cut a little bit there, so we can, take care of our bottom line. But then we also owe money to other entities that created this content, and that's why you have the writers on strike, and now you got the actors on strike, going on strike or threatening to go on strike because of these streaming services. And I said this, there's too many streaming services for all of them to be profitable. And I feel like when this writer strike is over with, when the actors get what they want, a lot of these streaming services are going to cease to exist. A lot of these streaming services, like the Paramount, I feel like on the outside looking in, is MGM Plus, it's Paramount Plus, it's AMC Plus. You're gonna see a lot of these other streaming services that are not named Apple, Disney, Amazon, that have money backing them. You're gonna see a lot of those streaming services just selling out their original content to those other giants, and then it's going to be a three-headed giant. It's going to be it's going to be Amazon. It's going to be Disney. Disney owns Hulu. It would not surprise me none if they merge a lot of the Hulu content, all of the Hulu content, to Disney Plus. Okay, so they're going to always be one and two, Amazon and Disney Plus. And if Hulu still exists, you still have Hulu in the fourth position. And in third, you're going to see Apple Plus. And people are going to say, but there's nothing good on Apple Plus. It doesn't matter. Apple Plus has the money. They're $1 trillion corporation. They can take a loss on Disney Plus for the next several years until what happens? Until the bottom tier of these streaming services like Paramount, AMG, and MGM and AMC start selling out their content. Like, could you imagine The Walking Dead, all of the Walking Dead content being either on one streaming service or separated in those other profitable streaming services that have money? What's that damn that television show on MGM Plus from? Could you, because that's their only hit. They got The Godfather of Harlem, but let's just say From. Could you imagine From? They sell that IP to like Disney, or they sell it to Netflix. Oh, that's why. Okay, so you got Netflix, you got Disney, you got Amazon, all are all on the inside. And then that's borderline. You got Apple, and the only reason Apple still exists because they're $1 trillion. They're backed by $1 trillion corporation. You got Hulu, but Hulu is backed by Disney Plus. It would not surprise me none, like I said earlier, that a lot of Hulu stuff goes to Disney Plus, or Disney Plus and Hulu merges into a new. They just changed the name to it, and then you got HBO Max. But there's a lot of streaming services that are on the outside that's just barely making their budget, and that's AMC, MGM Plus, Paramount Plus. Even though they said Paramount Plus have the most subscribers than everyone, but is those paid subscribers, or that's just people that are subscribed to Paramount Plus? All right. So you're going to see a lot of those people, a lot of those corporations on the outside looking in, selling their IPs to survive to the bigger giants that have money backing them, or they just got a bunch of content backing them. Okay? So it's going to be like cable television, satellite television, where you have your 3 or 4 big networks. Okay? And then those big networks have content from other cease to exist streaming services that are like From, or like like Disney. I mean, excuse me, like HBO Max. I think HBO Max is going to, the Max is going to continue to survive, but like AMC Plus with the Walking Dead series, all of the Walking Dead IPs could be on Netflix, or the Max, or Disney. MGM Plus that has Godfather of Harlem and From. Those are the 2 biggest IPs. I don't think the kid makes that type of money. You can possibly see them going to. And why am I talking about this? That's the same fate that's going to happen to Xbox Game Pass. I just don't think Xbox Game Pass is going to survive, because one, gamers are fickle. Gamers don't join a subscription service unless they're getting a bevy of their games. And the casual gamer, as long as you got Fortnite, NBA 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, and they're willing to wait on Grand Theft Auto. And then 6 is the exclusives, and the you got Nintendo's exclusives and you got Sony exclusives, but they're in 6th place. The casual gamer doesn't necessarily care about the exclusive. Now they'll play the exclusives, once the seasons are over in Fortnite, or when they want to take a break from Fortnite, or when NBA 2K starts to die off just a little bit, or they're just tired of playing Call of Duty. Okay, then now they'll give the exclusive titles an opportunity. But gamers are fickle. As long as they're able to play Fortnite, Madden, 2K, and Call of Duty, they don't give a damn about any other games. So why would they purchase Game Pass? Because Game Pass does not have those IPs, when they first come out in date. Now they'll have them later on, but they don't have them in date. And Fortnite doesn't even need to be on Game Pass. It doesn't need to be on Game Pass. Call of Duty, and I said this 1,000 times, and I will continue to say this. Call of Duty doesn't necessarily need. Call of Duty is a subscription service of itself. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. At the end of the day, folks. At the end of the day, I feel like Game Pass is a nice concept, but you're not going to get the majority of gamers to utilize Game Pass because the majority of the gamers are fickle. The majority of the gamers are casual. And the majority of the gamers, as long as you have those games I just mentioned, they're good. They don't need Game Pass. They really don't need exclusive titles. Now, they'll play the exclusive titles separately, okay? They'll play them, but as long as 2K is good, as long as Madden is good, as long as Call of Duty is good, as long as Fortnite is good, they're good. They're good. So why would they? Where is the incentive of them to purchase Game Pass? That's all I'm saying. I feel like ultimately Microsoft is going to have to change if they want people to subscribe to Game Pass. You're going to have to make deals. Like personally, and I know a lot of Xbox gamers are going to say, no, you don't have to do that. But Game Pass is on the outside looking in like an MGM Plus, like a Paramount Plus, okay, like an AMC Plus. Okay, the majority of people are not utilizing your service. The majority of people are getting their entertainment without using your service. So you have to entice those that player base if you want Game Pass to exist. I think Microsoft, they're not going to do it now, and they probably won't do it a year from now. But if the numbers stay the same, and you just spent $70 billion on Activision Blizzard, you just spent $10 billion on Bethesda. You're talking about spending even more money on a lot of other publishers and studios. All right. If you want to make a quick return and a quick profit, or just make a profit, you're going to have to figure out a way to make Game Pass available. And well, first of all, you got to make Game Pass available on Nintendo. You're going to have to somehow make Game Pass available on PlayStation, because let's just face facts. If Nintendo don't have it, I'm talking about, and I'm just saying a game or a subscription. Just forget the fact we're talking about Game Pass. Okay? Just forget that I've even mentioned Game Pass. If a game or a service is not popular on PlayStation or Nintendo, then why would a casual gamer buy into it? I mean, if it's not popular on the biggest, okay, they switch positions all the time. PlayStation, Nintendo. Well, Sony, Nintendo, Sony. The PlayStation, the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation. All right. Those are the popular platforms. And whatever is popular on the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 5, it's going to be popular to the casual gamers, because that's what the casual gamers either have a Nintendo Switch or PlayStation 5. Now, casual gamers have, I'm not saying casual gamers don't have the Xbox Series S and X, but they don't. It's not a lot of them out there. All right, that bought into those consoles, but there's more of a community of people that bought in to the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 5. Well, if you got a game that's not on the Xbox, that is not on Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 5, can you sit up there and say it's popular? Because it's not popular. If it's not popular on either one of those things, and the majority of casual gamers, I'm talking about casual gamers, not hardcore gamers. There's not enough hardcore gamers to enrich the gaming market. Let's just get that out of the way. The only reason why the gaming industry, the gaming market exists is because of the casual gamers, okay? So if the majority of the casual gamers consoles, and I feel like casual gamers play more on consoles than PCs. If the majority of the casual gamers are on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, then how is your game going to survive if it's not on either of those platforms? And let's take it a step further. If you got a streaming service and it's not available to the majority of the casual market, then how it's going to be profitable or have a long life or be successful? That's the biggest question. It doesn't matter how many games Microsoft put into Game Pass. That's not the bottom line. The bottom line to Game Pass, if you want to continue to see Microsoft support Game Pass has to be available on either the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 5, or if you're playing your cards right, available for the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch. You have to make it available. In order to make it available on the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 5. Now, this is where Sony and Nintendo has the advantage, because you're trying to incorporate a streaming service to their platforms. And Nintendo and Sony has the majority of the casual gamers utilizing their consoles. So here's where they control their own destiny, such as, pardon the pun, destiny, just like Microsoft controls the destiny of Game Pass and what goes on Game Pass and what doesn't go on Game Pass. If you want Game Pass to have the numbers go up, the only way that the subscription numbers are going to go up on Game Pass has to be available to the casual market, and it's not to the majority of the casual market. You're never going to get that casual market to sell their Nintendo Switches or their PlayStation 5s. That's not going to happen. You're never going to get that casual market to sell those consoles and pick up an Xbox Series S and X, all because Game Pass is there. But what you can do is somehow incorporate Game Pass or some entity of Game Pass to be available on the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 5. If you want to get that money faster, because we're talking about billions, not millions, billions. They have already spent, let's just say hypothetically, they spent $70 billion on Activision and Blizzard Entertainment. They spent another $10 billion on Bethesda. Now, I told you with the Bethesda deal, that was a bad move. I think they paid too much for it, but they were desperate. And when desperate men do desperate things, all right? They were just trying to get anything available. They wanted to constantly have content on Game Pass. And they felt like that was the best road. Now, if they spent $10 billion on Bethesda, and Bethesda was cranking out these IPs, and these IPs were very successful to Game Pass, and then the subscription numbers go through the roof, then that $10 billion, even though they spent more, that was a better business move. But that's why they wanted to buy Activision and Blizzard Entertainment for $70 billion. Because they had to make up on the bad business deal that they had with Bethesda. Starfield is going to come out sometime this year. And going by what people are saying about it, it doesn't look like an attractive game. Redfall has already dropped, and it was dead on arrival. So you got the two biggest games that you was going to benefit from struggling. You got Redfall dead on arrival. You got Starfield almost, Starfield going, we don't know if this is going to be a good game. And you just spent $10 billion to get these games on Game Pass. And you're not going to make a profit off of any of the game. You're not going to make half your money back with the Bethesda deal. Let's just be fair and be honest. So Microsoft want to hit a home run with Activision and Blizzard. They want to make a profit on their return. You're not going to make a quick profit or a quick turnaround on $70 billion. But you can get most, if not all, your money back if Xbox Game Pass was available on the two popular platforms for casual gamers. See, Xbox Game Pass really benefits the casual gamer. Because a casual gamer can look at it and go like, oh man, it's just like Netflix. It's just like Hulu. It's just like Disney Plus. I just pay $10 a month and I can play whatever I want to play. The concept is really mainly for the casual gamers. The concept is not meant for Xbox gamers. The casual is not meant, the ideal is not meant for Xbox gamers. The ideal was really not meant for PC gamers. The ideal Xbox Game Pass is really beneficial to the casual gamers. But if the majority of your casual gamers have a Nintendo Switch or have a PlayStation 5, then how is it really beneficial to the casual gamers? Ask yourself that. How is it benefiting those two, the casual gamers, if the majority of them play on the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch? So you're going to have some type of variation of Game Pass introduced to PlayStation and Nintendo Switch if you want to make a quick turnaround off of this $70 billion. Because you already pissed away $10 billion on the Bethesda deal. All of those original ideals, they're not even going to make half of the money that they spent on Bethesda. And it would not surprise me none if a lot of those IPs that Microsoft got from Bethesda, it would not surprise me none if they cut the budget or they shut down production on any of those games. Because look, Redfall was a huge disaster. They're not making no money off of Redfall. And if Starfield lays an egg, then that is crucial to Bethesda moving forward. And now you got this other company that you just purchased, Activision and Blizzard. They're the new flavor of the month. Microsoft is going to look at this and say, okay, we gave it a shot with Bethesda. Bethesda is not hitting. We're not going to make our return, our $10 billion return from Bethesda. Let's just go ahead, switch gears, and put all our eggs in one basket with all the IPs that we own with Activision and Blizzard Entertainment. That's how they're going to look at this. Okay? So, yeah. That's it on that. I just going to give you my 2 cents. And, people got to, people got to stop looking at things at face value. People got to stop looking at, if someone comes with an ideal, they immediately run to the point of, oh, well, he's a PlayStation fanboy. He's a Nintendo fanboy. He's an Xbox fanboy. He's a PC fanboy. No, I'm just spitting facts. I'm just spitting business. That's what I'm doing. I think ultimately, like I said, in order for Game Pass to be hugely successful, and if you get the majority of the casual gamers, there's got to be some form of Xbox Game Pass on your competitor's platform, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. And who knows, maybe PlayStation Core, at the core of this ideal, is going to be Xbox, Game Pass Core in some variation will probably be on a Nintendo or a PlayStation platform. But for that to happen, they're going to have to bend the knee like Kaepernick and make it beneficial for Nintendo and Sony to have Game Pass on their platform, on their consoles. The Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 5, they're switching. They're 1 and 2. Phil Spencer has already announced to the world that, we're not competing with Nintendo and Sony by selling the most consoles. We're going to compete with them in different ways. You also heard them say years from now, well, we're not in the competition. We're not even really competing with Sony and Nintendo. They have their ecosystem. They worked hard for their ecosystem, and there's no way we can beat them at their game. So we're going to create our own lane and create our own game, and that is Game Pass. And so far, the numbers are pretty much the same. What they got, like 20 plus million subscribers to Game Pass. I feel like one or two things are going to happen. Either the numbers are going to go up, which I don't see them going up, even when they got and I feel like when the next version of Call of Duty comes out and it's day and date, you can play Call of Duty on Game Pass, or you can just buy Call of Duty like you normally buy Call of Duty. When Call of Duty when it's official, when it goes on Game Pass, and you start seeing people still buying the game, spending $70 on the game, then subscribing to a subscription service, when that has not changed, Microsoft is going to have to sit in the booth and go, okay, wait a minute, how are we going to make Game Pass profitable and successful? Because if it's not profitable and successful in the next, I say 3-4 years, I think they're going to give the gaming division 3 or 4 years. They're going to scrap Game Pass, or they'll sell the Xbox division to somebody else. Because you can't continue, even though you're $1 trillion corporation, you can't continue, supporting something that's not making a lot of money for you. Okay? I think the new regime over at Microsoft, I don't think they have any. I don't think they really, dying to make sure that the gaming division exists with Microsoft. There was one point of time they was really literally thinking about selling the gaming division. So I think, all of this plays a factor. The writers guild striking. Now you got the actors striking. You just had a couple of months ago that there's a lot of streaming services that are not profitable. Okay. You also had some news recently that there's too many streaming subscription services. Game Pass is still hovering over 20 plus million. No, there's not an increase of subscribers, even with the acquisition of Bethesda, even with Activision and Blizzard Entertainment. Those numbers have not changed. And look, at the end of the day, this is a cold game and it's a cold business. And I think in large portion, There's just so many other subscription services out there. It's hard for the average person to subscribe to everything. So, guess what people do? People subscribe to the things that's really important to them. And I just don't think Game Pass is that important. If people had to pick and choose, what would you want? Game Pass or Netflix? Game Pass or Disney? Okay? Game Pass or OnlyFans. I think people make consolidations in life, and people make choices in their life that says, hey, look, I really only want to play Call of Duty. Fortnite is still free. Why don't I just play Call of Duty, pay a year of Nintendo Switch, a year of PlayStation, which I already paid. I already took care of that subscription months ago. Just pay. Just let me just get my Call of Duty. Let me get my Fortnite. Let me get my 2K. Let me get my Madden, and I'm good in the hood. Okay. Why do I need to pay for something that's got a bunch of games on there? I'm not tripping over that. It always and will continue to be quality over quantity. Quality over, man, I don't forgot it that fast. That quality over quantity. People are gonna always choose quality over having a surplus of everything, of quantity. Well, that's all I got for Too Early for This podcast. Hope y'all guys enjoyed this. Rate, comment, subscribe. Get the numbers up in the YouTube algorithm by subscribing to the channel, making sure that you hit the notification bell. Make sure the notification bell is select to all right? Also, if you want to support the channel even further, hit the join membership button. Remember, membership has its privileges, all right? You can also, if on the live version, you can super chat, or you can hit the Cash App link in the comment section, $ I'm Chris Don 1. If you do either of those things, you'll be the next stream sponsor. Tomorrow, we got a stream sponsor. Tomorrow, we have a stream sponsor. He was really supposed to be a stream sponsor today, but I forgot. My bad, homeboy. I'm going to take care of you tomorrow, all right? Tomorrow's going to be, the tomorrow show is going to be the ish, okay? Today was the ish. Tomorrow's going to be a bigger ish, all right? So, nevertheless, I'm the best. It's your host and moderator. I'm Chris Don 1, and we're about to wrap up Too Early for This podcast. Really do appreciate everyone that came by. You showed me a lot of love. Some people were coming in and out, hitting the like button. I really do appreciate that. And we're just gonna keep doing bigger and better. Hope I'm gonna do like I said, if the these two live streams, if the numbers are up, then I will do it daily. But if not, I'm just figuring things out, switching things up. Okay. Do y'all want a daily show, or do you just want every Saturday or every Friday? So I'm just trying to figure it out. Like last week, I did Too Early for This podcast on Friday instead of Saturday. To see if y'all like me doing it on a Friday instead of Saturday morning. Numbers are down just a little bit because I don't think people were expecting me to do a Friday show. All right. And now I'm doing a daily show to see if you guys like it that way as well. Almost 2 hours, folks. Almost 2 hours. Even though I told you guys it wasn't going to be 2 hours, but it was almost 2 hours. A lot of important jewels I dropped today. We covered a vast majority of different topics at my disposal. And tomorrow's show is going to be lit. All right. So be sure you, I'm sorry that I started a little late. It was supposed to be for 11 a.m. I think I started like 11:12 or 11:20. I do apologize for my tardiness, okay? You know, I'm not used of doing a daily show every day, all right? So, yeah, I'm just going to end it right here. I will see you guys tomorrow. I think that's episode 51. It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag a boast. And I'm coming to you guys live from Ghost to Ghost. It's your boy. I'm out of here.